Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's time for some Star Trek Prodigy, specifically Season 1, Episode 4, Dreamcatcher. Been enjoying the series so far, friends, kind of getting a handle on all these new characters and how their quirks and all that good stuff. But in addition, we're getting a beautiful showing of the galaxy. Just an absolutely aesthetically brilliant series so far with the animation and the designs of space, really. It's something that is really engaging. And again, we know this is geared towards a younger audience or an audience that needs to be introduced to Star Trek. So I like the approach and I am enjoying my travels so far. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted next time we go live with Prodigy or any of our sci-fi content. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon is in the description. But friends, all that's then, this is now. And now it's time for Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 4, Dreamcatcher. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! So cool. Rock Talk's my favorite, by a country mile. I like Gwen, though, too. And it's not just because of Ella Purnell. I know what you're thinking. It's I actually really enjoy the character. The character design is amazing. That's rock. That third nacelle. Again, that must be they talked about there being 2 warp cores. That's crazy. How fast can that sumbitch go?
Since we almost flew directly into a dying star, Janeway thought it might be nice to teach us some basics on how to pilot a starship.
Oh, they went a photon torpedo.
She also trained us how to plot a course to avoid anything that might try to hurt us.
Nice.
Like our diviner, who's probably not pleased we took his daughter. The more distance we put between us and Tars Lamora, the better.
Yeah, he's on his way, though.
Right?
You gonna leave her in the brig forever?
Our sensors have discovered this uncharted M-class planet in the Hirogen system. We should check it out.
Not for my crew. We all deserve A-class planets.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Though no sentient life forms, it's protocol for Federation ships to explore new worlds and document their findings.
Wow! Does this mean we can get off the ship now?
Sure. It might be nice to stay somewhere a while. Catch some rays, take a cool dip.
Yeah, we all know from landing parties that this is not how it goes.
No, we're not going, and there's nothing any of you can say to talk me into it.
Then I will be forced to report your non-compliance to Starfleet.
I need to get the adults involved. We'll go. Let's just make it snappy.
Ugh, I don't like Dow. I'm assuming he's going to have some character growth in an arc, so I'm just going to let it happen. But once an episode, I will confirm that I do not like him. Until that changes. I'm optimistic.
Ooh, whoa.
Ooh, beautiful. I swear they're going to find out Rock Talk's like 12 in human years. Deploy the 1 landing gear. Damn. Perfect.
Whatever happened to, under different circumstances, we could have been friends?
I'll bring you back a souvenir.
You can't keep her locked up for whatever.
Interesting. Mine has already detected a gas sample.
Guilty.
It's a phaser.
A Federation Type 1 phaser, only to be used in an emergency. But it'd be helpful if they were pointed in the right direction.
Oh,
Don't worry, that's why the defaults are set to stun.
and what is that?
The runaway.
Run away.
And my favorite? Hold on to your butt's grab handles.
Ha.
There's only 4 seats. You're not coming?
I wish I could. But holograms can't leave the ship.
No.
Murph will keep me company.
Big Murph. I love Murph.
Now go, explore, collect your samples, and meet back in an hour. But more importantly...
Oh, finally!
Look out for each other.
You're not going to take the runaway? Bon Jovi's just waiting for the music cue.
Thought this place was supposed to be beautiful.
Janeway said it's safe to breathe.
It's an alien world where who knows what could happen. Jankum says the suit stays on.
Fascinating. There are no nutrients in the soil.
How are they growing then?
Meet you back on the ship!
Down!
But I thought we were going on an adventure together. Guys?
They're walking off by themselves.
Ooh, pretty.
Careful, Rock Talk. They're called away teams.
You're smarter than you look.
Yes, he is. I love that character design. Oh, yeah, baby. She's badass. Rock Talk's my favorite. Gwen second. God, the character is so cool looking. And that's all she wrote. That didn't take long. Big Murph. You gonna do anything, Murph?
Eat up, Murph. We're gonna have some fun.
Okay.
If you think you're going to fly out of here, I want you to know you've already been locked out of all ship controls and...
Doesn't look that way.
All this time, my father taught me starship mechanics, astrophysics, linguistics, information technology.
Now we know why.
He was preparing me for this ship.
Janeway to Captain R.L. Your prisoner is loose and trying to steal the protostar.
Beautiful. Incredible shot.
I can't let you take the ship.
I am reclaiming it from my father.
This starship belongs to the United Federation of...
Oh, no.
which you now have full command access to. How can I be of service?
Oh, no.
Young progeny, we have been looking for you.
I'm in the Hirogen star system. I need to talk to our diviner. I have control of the protostar.
How curious.
It's a hedge wall.
Even more curious.
It's a maze, dude. Don't. Oh, Jenkum, you went to the right place with your suit on.
That smell. Oh, it can't be.
How can you smell it through your...
Hello?
It's your favorite soup or gruel or stew?
Oh, just like the stew on the Teller sleeper ship.
That you can somehow smell in your helmet?
Bite can't hurt, right?
Oh, for God's sakes, he's using his helmet as a bowl.
Ooh, a life form! Oops, just me.
Oh. What? Nope.
That's weird. Still says there are only one of us here. Don't be scared, little guy.
These all illusory?
You're not scared. Wanna play, don't ya?
Oh, and so do the 24 friends.
Gosh, you're adorable. Stop it.
She's gonna end up being 12 years old. I swear. She's in like these terrible circumstances. This might be time to back up. Or go, how high can Zero go?
The engine of our ship. What is it doing down here?
Really? Meanwhile, this guy. I like the force field windshield.
Hello? It can't be. Hello?
These his parents. Yep.
You yearn to see your parents, yet you don't remember what they looked like.
Janeway said she can't leave the ship.
You're too smart for your own good.
If you're not Janeway, then who are you?
Consider me a representative.
Of.
I was told there's no intelligent life here.
Life is everywhere.
Okay.
Have the ability to see what you want and give it to you.
We've experienced a few of these planets on the original series.
The diviner won't find you here. We can protect you, but you have to stay.
Sounds great. Just let me get back to my ship and,
Sounds like a sweet offer.
Stay.
Stay.
Okay, well, that's creepy.
The ship is prepared for takeoff, but as your training advisor, I must remind you, a Starfleet officer never abandons her crew.
They're not my crew.
Yes, they are.
Computer, stand by to retract landing gear. What was that? Report.
The landing struts are obstructed.
Ooh. Looks like we'll all be working together.
Oh, you are a mystery.
I love the way the gas moves inside. I'm telling you what, aesthetically unreal. Zero, you need to get out of here, buddy.
Gotcha.
Good job, good job, good job. You've done something right, Dal.
Time to go. Hold on to your butt grab handles.
Ooh.
This planet is remarkable. It acts as one superorganism, luring and consuming its prey for nutrients.
You mean it wants to eat us?
It's like a Venus flytrap.
Shows us what we want by fabricating our desires onto its cilium. It's quite wondrous.
It's also trying to eat us.
Yeah. Don't bury the lead there, Zero. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it can make cool stuff. Yes, it's trying to eat us.
Wake up!
Huh?
There you go. Come on, Rock Talk. Come on.
Where'd they go?
Oh.
I don't like this place. I want to go back to the ship.
Not without Jankum.
Oh, what are you eating?
The spores we came into contact with clouded our minds and senses.
You guys are gonna need decontaminated.
Why was Jankum rescued last?
Just geography, buddy.
My progeny.
Oh, she's seeing.
I've given you your ship.
You've done well, my progeny. My Gwendala. I am proud of you.
Gwendala. I think I knew that, but
You are not my father.
it didn't take Gwen long.
There it is! The protostar!
Janeway, if you can hear me, prep the protostar for takeoff.
Ooh.
No, not that hot. I said prep the protostar, not fly away.
Well, all that goodwill you built up with Gwen is certainly going to come into play right now.
Cilia has infiltrated the ventral superstructure. Command and control systems are offline.
All systems are critical.
Wow.
This ship is going down, and if you don't find a way off, you're going down with it. Get out of here!
All systems are critical. Prepare to abandon ship.
Well, there are no escape pods. Not that an in-atmo escape pod's gonna work. Is this Janeway bullshitting? It's Janeway bullshitting.
7, 6,
Murph!
5.
You can't leave Murph. That's not good. Luckily, there was no Jesus. Luckily, there was no subsequent explosion.
You stranded us all.
Got Murph. That should show you everything you need to know about Gwen. Oh, wow. Oh, they're ending it there. Nice, nice, nice. That was surprising, actually. I'd lost track of time. All right, friends, we just got done watching Star Trek Prodigy Season 1, Episode 4, Dreamcatcher, and the only thing left to do is to talk about it. All right, everybody, just got done watching Episode 4 of Prodigy Season 1. You know what? Again, this is a really cool kind of exploration for me, this particular show, because as you all told me, this is kind of like a segue, like, hey, do you think you might like Star Trek? Check this out. You know, if you're a kid, get kids engaged in it. You know, we've talked about like the Federation, you know, that with Janeway teaching the tenets of the Federation, and it becomes the, you know, the city on the hill and all that good stuff. What I liked about this one though was this one kind of gave you an idea of what the original Star Trek, or and I shouldn't say original, I mean, I haven't watched enough of it to be, you know, I've watched the original series, smattering of Next Generation, you know, things like that. But one of the tropes, you know, hey, it's a planet, it's undiscovered, it's unexplored. Let's go see. Hey, there are no life forms. It has to be fine. And you go down that planet and it's never fine, right? Whether you're an away team or a landing party, when you get down there, it is never okay. At least we don't see the planets where they land and everything goes to code, you know? That's not an episode, you know, where it's like, hey, we found 3 Class M planets and they were exactly like our sensors told us. That's not an episode. You know, it's the one Class M planet that you find that is shore leave from the original series, where it's you know, oh, it's a paradise here. And there's the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. You know, it's just like crazy shit. But this is a cool way to kind of introduce that. Like, in many ways, I'm watching this with this type of thing in my mind. Like when somebody sees this episode, you know, they see Dreamcatcher, and let's say they get hooked and they're like, oh man, I really like Star Trek, you know, Prodigy got me. And they go and they watch something else. They watch Lower Decks, the original series or whatever. And a similar situation comes up where a planet that's supposed to be, you know, devoid of life ends up having something at least sentient there. Someone could say, oh my gosh, it reminds me of Dreamcatcher. You know, which I think is great because that's the segue or lead in. It's like the tutorial we're given. This is like, in many ways, I've made this comparison a couple times before. In certain series like this, it reminds me of the tutorial segment in a video game where they're like, this is how you crouch, this is how you jump, this is how you block with your lightsaber, or, you know, whatever, this is how you shoot your gun or whatever happens to be. And you go through this tutorial session and figure it out. And I don't want to simplify Prodigy by saying that, but in many ways, this is a tutorial for certain, you know, episodic tropes that you'll be able to see in the future with the killer uninhabited planet, you know, great, the space anomaly, or not really space anomaly, but like the actual, you know, stellar event from last episode, Starstruck, that could be deadly. You know, these are the things that you have to mind when you're in a spaceship or, you know, flying around in a Federation craft or becoming an explorer. These are the dangers. So, you know, got to make sure that you're ready for all of these different types of things. In many ways, it's like being like, you know, an Eagle Scout or something of that nature, where it's like you got to be prepared for everything. And this is like your badge. Each one of these episodes is like, well, you passed your stellar deadly star. Here's your badge for it. Oh, killer uninhabited planet. Here's your badge for it. You know, so I think it's neat. You know, it's if this is the way that it progresses and the way that the story kind of is delivered to this, you know, younger audience, I think it's a very strong message to do. And I really think that in the amount that they definitely spent a ton on this with animation, because this type of animation, and especially like the broad, absolute, incredibly expansive shots and the organic, you know, backgrounds and things like that, this had to cost quite a bit, or maybe not, maybe expense isn't the way to use it, time. It costs time, and I'm sure it costs money too, but you know, this is something that is painstakingly created and rendered, and I think that it's well worth what they're doing here. It's well worth the time spent, because I think that just the beauty of this show is going to capture hearts and minds. In many ways, I think the star of this show is space, is the final frontier? Is this grand, mystery to explore that we get to see physically represented by these various like scenes, these set pieces and stuff like planets and nebula and things like that? Really, really cool way to really kind of engage people in what Star Trek really is, the exploration of the unknown. And, what better way to show that than to show space as something that you've never seen in a picture, but exists? I mean, the beautiful, like the nebula of colors that you would see, but you have to have seen them in like the desert. There's not a place where you can look up in the night sky of a city and, the urban kind of camouflage that goes up there and kind of blanks out everything. You can't see the stars for what they are. This shows us that this is just behind the curtain of night. Here's where, to absolutely stoke those fires of exploration. I love that. I love that approach. And I'm going to say this, that's why I think that this show is working for me so far, because the characters, I like a lot of the characters, but the characters, like Dal is completely insufferable in many ways, but I don't mind him. I mind him. I'm being hypocritical here. He grates on my nerves, but I understand his need. Young person, kind of skeptical, kind of hot-headed, kind of, I know better than anybody else. Relatable, I guess, to a younger audience, or maybe I'm not sure though. I think they're better. I think a younger audience is better served to be as a relation piece or relation center focus to like Rock Talk. I think Rock Talk is fantastic, to see the universe through the eyes of Rock Talk, where she's like, oh, it's so beautiful here, oh my gosh, a life form, and she's real excited about it. I think that's great. And I really, truly do think that Gwen is the better leader out of all of them. When this is all, we know it's coming, but when this all kind of like, gets flushed out and everything, and we kind of have a sit down and figure out Gwen's part of the crew, however it happens, Gwen's going to be part of the crew. She makes a more favorable leader to me simply because she's level-headed, and I don't want to say she's more mature because I think that alienates the younger audience that you're going for, but I think she's young enough, relatable to Dal. They had a dialogue before any of this stuff happened, that she becomes somebody to emulate. You know what I mean? If she's somebody that has problems too, father figure, pressures, responsibilities, there's a lot of youth that can relate to that. And I think that, in many ways, especially in today's day and age, in 2024, it's not easy being young. And so if you have somebody that experiences these types of pressures in Gwen, and you have somebody that experiences like what it is to be a kid, I guess, and the immaturity in Dal, and you have somebody that is kind of a wonder, literal stars in the eyes in Rock Talk. If you take those three and kind of wrap them together, you're going to come up with a really good kind of bridge from there to here, as far as, or here to there, here being, I don't know much about Star Trek, to there being really energized and engaged with what you're being presented. And so, there's a lot of thought that went into the construction of both the characters and the initial stories that they're giving here, because it's a really, really strong way to kind of say, hey, this is the things that do you like this? This is Star Trek. Do you like these characters? This is Star Trek, and people might think, oh, and then when they get a little bit older and they watch, I'm going to watch some more Star Trek because I really like Prodigy. I can see what they're doing, and I do think it works. I really do. To this point, I think it works. My only hesitation in saying that I think it works completely is that we need to have kind of a shift, kind of not something massive, but a more democratic crew-based shift where we don't have Dal doing stuff that gets everybody in trouble, or this kind of, again, at the very top of the episode they showed everybody walking their separate ways, and that's not a team, and they all got into trouble. And so again, with that line of, hey, this is how Starfleet does things, this is how the Federation does things. In the future, if a younger audience is watching, they'll say, hey, make sure you stick together this time. You guys are a team. When we see that team solidify, then I think that we're going to have a really good introductory piece to the world of Star Wars. We're on our way. We're on our way, and we're traveling 60 with both both windows open. So we'll just see if we can keep this up. Maybe get a little bit more juice out of this old clunker. We'll see, friends. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, or ring that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted next time we go live with Prodigy or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon is in the description. Not a fan of Patreon? No problem. Stick with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get everything a day early, plus any bonus episodes for any of our series that happen to come out. But friends, all that is done and this is now. And now it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye from Prodigy. So where should we say goodbye from? Well, I say we say goodbye from the very place where we left our would-be crew as they stare and realize that, you know, there's been a crash. Are we marooned? Are we ever getting off of here? This place is deadly. What do we do? And as we sit there and stare at one another, the rest of us a little bit more, myself probably maybe excluded, but all of you are wiser to the ways of Star Trek, and you know there's a way out of this. But our cadets need to learn it, and in so doing, become a team. Friends, until next time we meet, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.